So today we're going to do a follow-up recipe from my long form video that came out Friday with the 5 different budget ramen recipes. Today we're going to do surf and turf. Initially I planned on having just the seafood or the shrimp flavored ramen as the seafood, but I happen to have like 3 or 4 Patagonian shrimp left over, so we're going to add that to it. Pretty simple to make, like many of these. But let's go over the ingredients. So first of all, we have our inexpensive 49-cent shrimp flavored ramen, which is actually quite good. I actually enjoyed this when I made this. I have some frozen peas and corn that have been thawed out, and we're going to toss that with a little bit of barbecue spice and sear it in a pan. We've got some of my Korean pork belly diced up in cubes, about 1/2 inch. I will put the recipe in the description for this, as well as after the stream is done, I will add it up here on a card. Now I have that shrimp, which I've taken them. They're 31/40s, you know, good size, but not huge. And I cut them into 3 pieces, so they're about the same size, at least raw, as the pork. Shrimp shrink, so they'll be a little smaller than the pork, but that's okay. And then for the broth, we've got some garlic, some butter, some fish sauce, which I like this brand, but I couldn't find it online on the recipe on the website. I have another brand that I really like that's available on Amazon, so you can get it easily. A little bit of that. And then on top, we're going to have some chili crisp, a lime wedge, obviously, some bias cut, so cutting at an angle, green onion tops, and then one of my Smokehouse hard-boiled eggs, which also I will put up here. It's listed as a short, and you can also get the recipe for these on the website. So, pretty simple. We have to cook a few items and then finish the ramen, and we'll be done. So let's start off with a saute pan on medium-high heat. Now, you could, and you'll see in the recipe it says combine these in a bowl and sprinkle them with barbecue spice. Well, I don't like making more dishes to do, right? It requires me to clean more, it requires more water, more hot water and electricity and everything else. I just, you know, for the sake of resources, I don't like to do that. So we're going to put this into a pan, which, you know what, with a little bit of neutral oil, not much, like 1/4 teaspoon. We'll add that, we'll add the spice, and then just kind of stir it around. It'll have the same ending as if we had mixed them in another bowl, but it's one less dish, right? So we're going to do that. This gets hot pretty fast, so we're going to add the corn, maybe. Come on, there you go. And the peas, which I found out my dogs love peas, because I dropped one. Oh, 30 dishes over there. And we're going to sprinkle some of my Memphis rub, also on the website. Just give it a little bit of flavor. Let me switch this over so you can see. And we're going to cook everything in this except for the ramen and its broth will be cooked in here. So the pork, the shrimp, only one pan to clean. Again, minimal dishes. And actually, I'm going to see if I can put those corn and the peas into here. We'll see how messy I am. You don't have to cook this. You can see it's already smoking. It's nice and hot. I'm going to turn it off. That's it. I'm really just flavoring it, getting a little color. Now let's see if I can do this. I'm sorry I have to do this way so you can't see me on the other camera. But let's see if I can do this without too much mess. Yeah, so I put out the long form on the 5 ramen recipes. Oh, this will fit. There we go. Ooh, one more corn. There we go. The ramen's out. You can see that out on my channel. Turn this back on. Still hot. We're going to add our pork. Actually, I am going to need that again. I'm trying to be more frugal with my use of dishes and just natural resources. So I have some work to do on that. This will take probably 3, maybe 4 minutes. Not too long. It's already cooked. So really all I have to do is put some crisp on it. Yeah. I watch things, so I'm on a walk. How convenient. And you'll see, I'm sure you can see in this camera over here, where is it? This camera over here, the color that's happening. You can take this as crisp as you like, because it's fully cooked. I kind of like the soft texture. Some people are going to want it a little bit crispier than I do. This Korean marinade will actually burn pretty fast, so you have to watch it. But it does add a ton of flavor. And actually, let's get out something to pull that out, because we're going to cook the shrimp in this pork that's being released in the pan. So I don't want to take that with me when I take the pork out. It's getting pretty close. Nice color. Another toss. And I think we're just about there. All right, I'm going to take that off. Oops. Nope. I'm going to do that this way. So I leave the oil in the pan. For the shrimp. There we go. Pan's already hot. Oil's in the pan. Time for the shrimp. Oh yeah, gonna need that too. Keep forgetting. I'm gonna toss it in the oil real quick, just to give it color. And then we're gonna cook these just to done. So Patagonian pink or red shrimp, they are a different texture than generic regular white shrimp you usually get in the store. They have more of a texture of lobster, so they don't do well if you overcook them. But they give you a much more tender bite and more like a lobster experience in the texture. Not necessarily they taste like lobster, but much more succulent than just regular shrimp. Regular shrimp will work. That's what you got. And this is almost done. I'm going to end up pulling this off just a little bit early so I can get the water going for the ramen. Okay, that's probably about halfway done. I'm going to move that off. We're going to bring over the ramen pot, and we're going to add half of our butter. So just about, 2 tablespoons. And what we're going to do is bloom our garlic. Hear that shrimp cooking back there. I don't want to cook them too long. But we are going to bloom this garlic really quick. And I think that shrimp's done. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. It smells delicious, of course. And these are all toppings for the ramen. All right, that pan is done. And now you can hear the garlic. I'm going to turn this down a smidge so it doesn't burn. And what we're going to do is we're going to bloom the fish sauce to add some umami into this broth. Okay, this garlic is already ready. Excuse my reach over the hot pan. We'll add our fish sauce. Just about 4 or 5 seconds. It's already evaporated. So now we add our water. We're going to bring that up to high. And we're going to add the rest of our butter and our ramen packet seasoning. Now I'm making a mess. I'm sure the dogs will take care of it for me as soon as they realize I've dropped food. Okay. And then we need the packet of seasoning. And what you'll find is this has a nice color to it to start with, but when you add that pork in there, it's going to get deep red. It's absolutely a beautiful broth, delicious broth. The toppings are perfect. All right, let's grab one of these smokehouse eggs while we bring this up to a boil. These are quite done. I'm going to put this other one back in the fridge real quick. And I'm going to take that smokehouse egg and cut it in half for later. Looks like that. It's stained really well. Doesn't take long. I'm loving how fast stainless steel comes up to a boil. It's really good for live streams. Go figure. Alright, letting that go. Let's get this out of the way. You don't need to break up your ramen. You can if you like. I usually just start it off on one side, flip it over. Just follow the instructions. It's 3 minutes. If you like really soft noodles, you can take it longer. I find 3 minutes actually works really well. Okay, getting close. I can see the edge is boiling. Yeah, so next week we're going to be coming out with a deep dive into what I call granny mac and cheese. So I've done a short on this, but we're actually going to dive into how to make it in a full batch, which should be fun. And then of course live stream on Sunday next week we'll have something left over. Okay, we've come up to a rolling boil. We're going to add our noodles. Set a 3-minute timer, if I can do this right. Let's try this. Timer. Start. Yes. Yeah, so Granny Mac this coming week. Super easy. Also easy to scorch. So yeah, we're going to dive deep into that. That is a very requested video. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Very requested video. So I wanted to live up to my commitment to show a deep dive into that. So we're doing that next week. And I can tell you we've been eating a lot of mac and cheese. Oh boy. It's really a good comfort food, but it's also it's heavy. So we don't eat it that often, but it's awfully good. Okay, we want to just kind of break up these noodles. You know what works better? A fork. Because you can kind of get in and separate these noodles. Just as long as I don't get a steam burn. That'd be just like me. Getting close. So once this is cooked, we'll just plate it up. And it's that simple. So it takes about probably 10 minutes to prep this stuff. And then, but you could use whatever you want. I mean, turf could be anything. I mean, it could be, I don't think it would be chicken, but I'm not going to say no. But you could use beef, of course. And shrimp's the same way. It's surf and turf, not pork and shrimp. This is looking pretty good. But you can use any pre-cooked meat, flavored as you like. I love the Korean marinated pork belly because of all the flavor, and it just contributes a lot. Pretty good. What do we got? 51 seconds. Almost there. Alright, so once this is done, we're going to take this off the fire. Just making sure I haven't forgotten anything. Looks good. 30 seconds. What else is going on? We have 30 seconds. Yeah, so April's going to be about making sausage, homemade sausage, and then March I've got coming around for St. Patty's Day. I'm doing a 5 lamb pastrami sandwich video. That should be fun. Some chefy, some just great comfort. Oh, there we go. Let's turn that off. We'll take that off. And I'm going to move this out of the way and bring in my serving bowl. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so that. And you know, one of my goals this year, because I love Asian food, is to get good at using chopsticks. I'm terrible with chopsticks. So, yeah, that's one of my goals this year. I'm imagining myself walking around the house going clickety-clack with chopsticks all day. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. I might need that. So we got our broth. You can see the color. Looks really good. Alright. So the corn and the peas go down the middle. Okay. We're going to put our pork along one side, doesn't matter, left, right, whatever. And I'm going to make sure all that oil from the pork gets in there, because that's flavor. Before I add the shrimp, I'm going to put in the egg, because it's sitting at room temperature, but you're not going to want to eat a cold egg. So we're going to drop that at both ends of the peas and the corn. And we're going to add our shrimp. There's that. We're going to add, of course, a little lime wedge. And then the chili crisp, which I like to take some of the chili crisp oil and just drizzle it, stain things. It's not super hot, so it depends on, you know, there's different brands. This is just a store brand, so you can put as much in there as you want. And then I'm going to put a nice pile of that right in the middle. And then our green onions, just kind of everywhere, willy-nilly. I don't usually put them over the corn and peas because it's too much green all in one spot. And, sorry, a little clean as you go. I'm making a mess. More dishes. There we go. So Surf Turf Ramen, made with Korean pork belly, Patagonia shrimp seared in the same oil, seared peas and corn with a little barbecue spice, a smokehouse egg, jalapeno egg, and a little chili crisp. And I'm going to bring this up. Ooh, it's warm. I'm going to bring this up so you guys can see it. What do you think? It looks pretty good. It smells delicious. You can already see the color coming out from the pork and the chili crisp. It's going to get this really beautiful red color. I'm just going to stir it up a bit. See how the color is changing? Look at that deep red hue. Now it almost looks like a beef color. That's the Korean spices, the gochujang, the gochugaru, things like that. And I'm just going to take a little bite. Ooh, it's going to be so hot. But I want some of that broth. Look at that broth. Let me see if I can show you that broth. Look at that. That's frickin' amazing. So good. Alright, let's see if I can get at least one ramen bite. And excuse the slurp. So much flavor. A little bit of heat. Honestly, I'd probably put more chili crisp on it because I like a spicier ramen. Lots and lots and lots of flavor. Okay? Don't be afraid of it. If you need to, you can leave the chili crisp off. You can ramp it up if you want it spicier. I'm going for a piece of pork and a couple shrimp. So good. And that's it. 10 minutes to cook it. Well, actually more like 10 minutes to prep it. 15 minutes or so to cook it. The recipe is built out on the website. It is for 4. I try to do everything in batches of 4. But you can certainly divide that up and just make a single serving. It lets you go half recipe, so you can go down to 2, but the website doesn't let you go down to 1. You'd have to figure that out. Go down to 2 and then look at what it says for portions and then convert it over to 1 by cutting it in half. You'll be fine. All right? Well, I appreciate your time here. Remember, not food waste, just good food. So we'll see you next Sunday for our next Leftover Live. And I hope you have a great day with friends and family. Later, Gator.